Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Chocolate Bros Review Show, where we are reviewing chocolate. One guy's doing the intro, the other guy just going crazy, spazzing out next to him. You threw me off track, man. You got me distracted.
Stick with it. Come on, focus. Be professional, Adam.
You're right. This is the Chocolate Bros Review Show. We own Fortunato Chocolate, www.fortunatochocolate.com. On this show, we are reviewing various and sundry chocolate bars that we find in the grocery store for two reasons. One, summer's coming upon us, and the people who order chocolate from us online probably won't be able to order as much chocolate because it might melt due to heat in transit. And secondly, we want to just kind of keep our fingers on the pulse of the chocolate industry, and we're interested in knowing what's out there. Pulse, the metaphorical pulse. There's not a literal pulse to the chocolate industry.
I misunderstood.
Yeah. Your old nurse's training is coming back. Yeah, Brian was an amateur nurse for
Very amateur.
for 4 years.
I just like wearing scrubs if I'm being honest.
Yeah. He used to wear scrubs all the time. It was very peculiar. Yeah.
Walk around with my hands scrubbed like this. Can't touch anything.
Waiting for someone to put gloves on.
Absolutely.
Surgical gloves. All right, we're getting off track. We're brothers, same mom, different dads. That's also getting off track. But sometimes when we get together, we joke around and lose our focus a little bit. Now, if you want to check out our chocolate on www.fortunatochocolate.com or in one of our two retail stores in Issaquah, you can decide for yourself if we are credible enough to be judging other people's chocolate. But we feel that our chocolate stands up quite well.
The question is, are we purveyors of fine chocolate? We believe we are. Most of our customers believe we are. But in order to find out for yourself, you have to go to one of those three places, fortunatochocolate.com or one of our two retail stores in Issaquah, Washington, just east of Seattle. We'd love to see you there on Saturday mornings. We work an owner's shift in the store.
Come on by and meet us.
Yeah, come by and say hi. I mean, after seeing this super organized intro, who wouldn't want to come by?
Oh, man. And it's like this times 2 or 3 inside the shop.
Like 2.7.
It's hilarity in there. And let's see, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, but I don't remember it now.
You're a published author and you have a book coming out. Did you want to mention that?
I could mention that. No, here's what I was going to say. If you want to try our chocolate and then do your own review video, by all means.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Also, I'm a published author. Book's coming out June 4th called Finding Fortunato. Look, I don't want to brag.
No, it's not bragging if you've done it.
Anytime someone says I don't want to brag,
They're
the
about to brag.
brag's always coming.
It's a humble brag.
Finding Fortunato is also selected on the J.P. Morgan Summer Reading List, one of 11 selections out of 717 submissions. And I might as well just say
11 out of 717. So that means you're like top 40% of the applicants. So that's pretty. I'm not a math guy.
Within the top 40%. And when we broke into the chocolate industry, when we started making and selling chocolate, we were complete unknowns.
Right.
And the only reason anybody ever...
And now we're mostly complete.
We're still mostly completely unknown. But the only reason anybody ever gave us a shot in the first place was because the chocolate was really good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. And then I'm a complete unknown as an author, but somehow the book got chosen out of 717 submissions. So, ipso facto, Brian. Ipso facto.
Nobody knows you as an author yet, but trust me, bro, they will because the book is banging.
But it must be good, right?
It's a good book.
All right.
It's a good book.
Now, without further ado, I bought this bar we're going to be looking at today at QFC, which is a local Kroger-owned store. Antidote. I never heard of this brand before. Have you ever heard of them?
I've never heard of Antidote. It's a little hard to see. We broke it. This is a 77% dark.
Yep.
With rose, salt, and lemon. I don't know if that's rose flavored salt or pink salt, which is common in the...
It must be pink salt.
Yeah, which is like a Himalayan pink salt. There's also pink salt that comes from the Cusco region of Peru.
Yeah, I visited the Maras salt mines there, which is really cool.
So let's take a look at some of the both the marketing hype and the ingredients here. So we said it's rose, salt, and lemon. Antidote, their tagline is chocolate that loves you back. I'm not sure, just by being great tasting, I guess. It's a funny, it says high on cacao, less sugar. It's a funny thing that they have on the front here. I've never seen this on chocolate before. It says endorphin boosting.
Endorphin boosting, and then on the side here, sort of on the spine, it says laughter.
Endorphin
you can't see it. Yeah, and on the side here, it says laughter and play. And then, of course, Antidote has medicinal connotations.
Right. Now, they're on the side saying that this is made from HEBE Nacional cacao from Ecuador, single origin and direct trade. So let's just talk a little bit about Arriba Nacional, and what that means. Ecuador was the #1 provider of cacao for 100 years to Europe after it was discovered in the 17th century. It could have even been the 16th century. All the beans that came to Europe in the old days came through the Spanish and their trade routes from the west coast of South America to Europe. And when they famously, some Spanish traders got to the old pre-Hispanic city of Guayaquil in Ecuador, had a different name then, and they saw boats with cacao beans coming downstream, and they said, "Where are these beans from?" And the people said, "Del Rio Arriba," which just means upriver. But Arriba, since they didn't understand what they meant, Arriba became a tag word for a certain type of cacao, which is now genetically known as the variety Nacional. Now, we are a little bit famous in the industry for having discovered...
A very little bit.
Very little. For having discovered a remnant isolated population of Nacional cacao in Peru with a high percentage of white beans, which implies that it's been there for a long time in isolation. And it is now, because frankly of our discovery, it is now in question whether Nacional cacao actually comes originally from Ecuador or Peru. Of course, the distinction is meaningless because Ecuador and Peru did not exist millions of years ago when cacao was becoming what it is
Good point.
in the modern sense. But Nacional cacao coming out of Ecuador is frequently, if not almost all the time, mixed with a modern high-yield, low-flavor variety called CCN 51. And the Ecuadorian cacao has lost a lot of its reputation recently, but there are still some very good cacao beans and some very good chocolates coming out of Ecuador. When people say Arriba Nacional, they're using marketing language because Arriba really has nothing to do with the genetics of Nacional. Now, what else can we determine from
and let me
go ahead.
Let me just say this. I am very interested to try this bar. This is why I bought this bar. I know of some origins in Ecuador that I find to be quite outstanding.
Yes.
Cacao origins.
Unequivocally, there's good cacao and good chocolate coming out of Ecuador.
Great cacao from Ecuador. So
Correct.
I'm interested to see what Ecuadorian cacao they've used and what they are calling Arriba Nacional.
Now, so on the back, she's got something really interesting. I say she because this calls out the person's name is Red Thalhammer, female creator, New York and Miami based with Austrian roots. It says, this exquisite antidote bar is loaded with a rich Arriba Nacional cacao and real lemon peel. With the high cacao content and minimal processing, we maximize the potency of antioxidants and nutrients to create a delightful treat to boost your mood and energy level. It's made in Ecuador.
By the way, I don't know if the processing actually affects the antioxidant levels.
Well, the theory on that is that the less you process it, the higher
which
the
part of the processing? The grinding, the roasting?
Probably conching and roasting.
Okay.
Yes. There's also a kind of an interesting thing here. It says at the top, and this is just sort of out of nowhere. It says HEBE, Hebe, I guess, Greek goddess of youth, fresh and memorable. Hebe's nectar is the antidote to the mundane. Her youthful spirit kicks it with zesty lemon and salt. Revel in the eternal sandpit of laughter and play. So there's a little bit of a feminism vibe going on here.
Yeah, of course.
A little bit of a health vibe.
This has
going
nothing
on
to
here.
do with any ingredients or anything.
Well, she calls out the lemon inside.
Because of the lemon.
Yeah. So.
All right. Let's just take a look here at the box. Sorry, you want to say one more thing?
I want to say one other thing. So, Antidote is in Brooklyn, New York. The chocolate is made in Ecuador. Now, chocolate that says it's Arriba Nacional, made in Ecuador, can be craft, artisan, extremely high level from very good beans, or it can be industrial chocolate. There's a factory by Nestle there. There's a great big industrial factory by República de Cacao. Pacari, a large now global brand, makes chocolate in their factory. Cayari is a great big. But there's also a bunch of smaller, more craft and artisan.
Yeah.
The back of this package, because it has both English, German, and I think one other language, and French, that implies to me that this is a relatively high volume, more industrial type product.
And also,
I don't know.
And also the fact that I bought it in a Kroger-owned store,
yes,
means it has wide distribution. It's a high volume product.
So this right off the bat, this implies to me that this is a large volume, more of an industrial created product.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it can't be fantastic.
All right, now I'm just gonna look at the box. I like these boxes.
Yeah.
I like the envelope
tab.
box. I like the bag on the inside.
Yeah, it's not that thin stuff.
Yep, and there's a whole bunch of more sales copy on the inside. And it's just a nice.
And I think that's a really appropriate place for sales copy.
It is.
You don't have to read through it to decide if you want the bar or not.
Yep, I like that, and I like this style of bag because you rip the top off, you put this away, and it stores really nicely.
That's right.
Which is it's a nice touch. It's thoughtful.
Yeah. So this is a relatively thin bar, and it's molded with these kind of little.
Turn it over.
Yeah, you can see.
You can see the inclusions on the back.
Yeah, you can see some inclusions on the back. You can see there's kind of it almost looks like a Captain America kind of shield thing on the front. And all right, let's start with the aroma. Good aroma.
Great.
Smells like real chocolate.
Surprisingly
I don't
good
pick up
aroma.
any lemon or salt, but
No.
the chocolate aroma is legit.
Yeah, and it's got a nice chocolate aroma. It's got a nice sort of non-generic chocolate aroma. I'm just going to read the ingredients. Cocoa beans, whole cane sugar, cocoa butter, mountain rose salt, lemon, sunflower lecithin. So good, simple ingredients.
It's got a little emulsifier. It's got some added cocoa butter. It's a couverture in that sense.
You can, and the added cocoa butter does mask some of the notes.
Almost all chocolate made from Ecuadorian beans in Ecuador has added cocoa butter because Ecuadorian beans are notably low in natural cocoa butter.
That's correct.
And they will actually turn to sludge in your machine
They
and
do.
seize up your machine if you don't add cocoa butter.
All right, you want to sell off? Or you want me to sell off?
I will go. We've been tasting bars recently that have been made from bulk African cacao, and the chocolate itself is relatively flavorless and tasteless.
It's either flavorless or it's generic.
Or it's generic. This is made from better beans. This actually has
Character.
There's character in the beans. I don't detect any salt or lemon. And a little salt, no lemon at all. I would say as an inclusion bar, the inclusions are not registering at all.
Maybe a touch of salt.
There's a touch of salt.
A touch of salt.
There's a touch of salt. The lemon is in no way registering on my palate. Is it for you?
No. May I chime in? So, Nacional, the type of Nacional that we use, is normally famous for its sort of fruit and floral flavors. Whereas this is good. This cacao has character. This is not a generic cacao. They're using a good cacao here.
If I had to guess, it's a blend.
But I believe this is more like a variant where this is highly nutty. This is there's almost no acidity here. There's no. I don't pick up much fruit.
I wonder if that's the processing more than the nature of the beans.
Whatever the case it is, this wants some lemon.
Yes, by the way.
This wants lemon.
Yes.
If they have the right idea here.
They had committed to the acidity of lemon, this cacao would be wildly better.
This cacao needs lemon.
So this is a case of, we've had a couple of cases of bad chocolate, bad inclusion. We had a couple of cases of blah chocolate with a great inclusion that turned it into a great bar. We've had this is a case of pretty good chocolate, but with an inclusion that does not register really at all. This could have just been a chocolate bar. There's no. If
this was just a straight dark chocolate bar, I would say this is one of the better dark chocolate bars you probably would ever find in QFC.
So I rate the inclusion as basically not even important enough to comment on. But the chocolate, I think this is a blend. It's well fermented. It's well roasted.
Yeah.
I think the conch is fine. I think it's a blend between some offshoot of Nacional and some CCN 51 to extend it, which is very common coming from Ecuador. It's got good body. It's well roasted.
And to be honest, the more I let this run, the whatever this sea salt they're using, this mountain rose salt, it's got some character too. As a salt,
I
it's
love
got
salt
some character.
chocolate, so I have no problem with the saltiness.
And
but the lemon is completely absent.
And this wants lemon because whatever variety of cacao they're using, and some of these
the
varieties of
acidity
cacao
would be so welcome.
Did you ever eat? Did you ever try the cacao origin Camino Verde from Ecuador? Anyways,
yeah.
And I like Camino Verde. I think it's a really good cacao, but it's totally nutty.
Yeah.
It's completely nutty.
Yeah, some acidity would do wonders in this.
Oh,
if they had committed to the inclusion, it would be so much better.
Yes. Even so.
The chocolate itself is quite enjoyable.
And it's got real character.
It does.
It's got, the cacao has real flavor.
This is not
real character. They've used a good cocoa bean.
These beans were properly fermented, and you can tell they were because they didn't have to over roast it. It doesn't have that rubbery, that ashy kind of taste from an under fermented bean that's over roasted to make up for it. And there's bitterness is almost zero, astringency almost zero.
And it's a 77%.
It's a 77%.
So for a 77% dark, which is a fairly dark chocolate, it's pleasurable.
Yeah.
It's pleasurable. It tastes good.
So there's some unrealized potential
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But as a chocolate bar, I give it a resounding thumbs up.
I would give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But Antidote, if you're watching this, consider doing the lemon.
Bust out the lemoniness.
Make this more lemony.
Commit to the lemon.
Yes, lemon it up.
Yeah, this is what was her name? Red Thalhammer.
Yeah.
This is a direct message to Red Thalhammer. We like your chocolate. We think it would be even better if you really went for the lemon.
Remember the SNL with the cowbell?
Yeah. I gotta have more lemon.
I gotta have more lemon.
I gotta have more lemon zest.
We're gonna all be wearing gold-plated diapers before we're done. We're gonna be wearing lemon-scented diapers before we're all done here.
But overall, Red, I have to tell you, Red Thalhammer, whoever you are, I like your chocolate. I think you got something.
Yeah, and I think if you run across this bar in QFC or any of these other bars from Antidote, if they are referencing the Arriba Nacional Cacao on the back, for the price,
I'd believe it.
For the price, I think you can get a pretty interesting, flavorful chocolate bar with a lot of character for a fair price. That'll be better than most of the other bars that are in there.
It's a solid representation of what Ecuadorian cacao and chocolate are about.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we need more lemon.
We gotta have more lemon.
Gotta have it. All right.
I'm Jones. I got lemon fever, baby.
Yeah, I got a fever, and the only antidote is more lemon. You see, I brought that back.
I saw you brought it back. That's called a callback in the business.
Comedic
folks.
genius, my friend. Oh man.
So
all
good.
right. So if you want to try our chocolate, check us out at www.fortunatochocolate.com. Brian, any parting words?
If you want to have a bar that actually does have a little bit of citrusy kick to counteract the rich Nacional notes, we have a key lime cookie bar on top of dark milk that I think actually brings a little bit of that citric.
Oh, it lives up. It lives
a little
up.
bit of that citrusy citric acid to great effect. I wish this had.
Yeah. So if you want to get notifications when we put out a new review, subscribe. And if you liked this show, why not go ahead and smash the like button.
Smash the like button.
Smash it.
Smash it with your palm if you
hammer
have to.
it. If you have a hammer,
I mean,
hammer the like
hammer
button.
The computer. That's not good.
Smash the like button
by clicking on it.
By clicking on it.
By gently touching your mouse with your
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gently
Kiss the like button.
Kiss it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.